Whether you seeking amnesty or strategy, gather around Melanated Family. It's the Real HD show, that is. Let's go with the intro.
Deceit and violence, all right? When the white supremacists have to fool their victims, that's the easiest way to control anybody, is for you to be able to train them in such a way that they think that they are doing something that's helping themselves when they are doing something that's really helping you and destroying you while you help them. Now, it's a perfect situation for an aggressor, and they have worked out a code that does that. That's why they are making it. The lady just called in, and she said they are scrambling all the sexualities of non-white people everywhere in the world that they possibly can, I mean, they are burning midnight oil trying to come up with new ideas about how to do that. I mean, hey, confuse them sexually and you got them forever, because they understand that. That's a universal principle. If you confuse an animal sexually, an elephant sexually, you don't have to confuse them about nothing else, because that's maximum confusion. All right? Where the male elephant doesn't know what he is, and the female, I mean, there's a little bit of everything and not much of nothing, okay? That's where they're taking black people all over the planet, non-white people in Thailand and everywhere else, wholesale as best they possibly, I mean by the truckload. And they are rewarding you If you show any signs of going in that direction, you will be rewarded because they know what influences people.
Yes.
You know, hey, I'll give you a better position, a better job. You want a job, you go to the head of the line. If you will help in the scramble sexuality among non-white people. Now, that's just one thing, but they're doing this in every area of activity. Economics, confuse them. Make them think that they're making a whole lot of money when they're really not. You'll be making it. And the money, if they do go through their hands, is going to be recycled. All these multimillionaire black people that you see, the white supremacists already got it set up. Hey, they're just going to make a long sweeping circle, and they're going to get a nice ride now.
Yeah.
All right? But that circle is going to come. It's going to be a circle. They're not going in a straight line.
Absolutely.
All right? All of that they have, that they claim is theirs, in the end, it's going to come right back to me.
Right back.
It's going to boomerang. See, but black people don't know this.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all over the world. I'm talking about black people that probably in the future will have billions and billions of dollars.
Oh.
And they ain't holding on to nothing and passing it on in a constructive manner.
Okay.
The white supremacists teach black people to do what? To pour show-offisms. It's in the code book. And that's showing off to each other. All right? And showing off what we have and whatnot, and the little trinkets that they give us, the diamond rings and whatnot. I mean, and black people are suffering who are digging those diamonds. But they don't know anything about that. The average black person got no idea of where diamonds come from. They just know that, hey, it's shiny. Look at me. I got it. Okay, you got it. You're black and you got a diamond ring. Now, what does that mean on the world scale? In the eyes of the white supremacists, that means absolutely nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Absolutely nothing. They say, we got tons of them, boy. We got truckloads of diamonds. You know, we got mountains of diamonds. And you around here flashing your little cheap diamonds you got from us.
Yeah.
And we charge you an arm and a leg for it. And you're strutting around where? In the ghetto with your little diamond, thinking that you're big time. You are a stone inward to the nth degree. And we have made you that. And this is how black people are. See, they have made us nothing but babies. We are nothing but babbling babies, and think that we got nerve enough to think, respect me as a grown person, as an elder, to talk about some of the organizations and whatnot, but I'm not putting them down and all like that. I'm just holding up a mirror to truth.
The truth.
We are nobody. We are nothing but prisoners of war, and we have to understand that. I don't care how we prance around and show off to each other. The white supremacists, even when they're dead drunk, are not impressed with anything that we do. Now, some people have said they've seen some cartoons of my work on the internet that have been presented, and that
We got one more section to go, family. Bear with me. We got our AAT report, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wiser on the Real HD show. So let me pull that up and get the music on.
Last week competition was sending remedies for colds. Well, some said lemon, some said ginger, some said oregano, some echinacea, cloves, garlic, cayenne pepper, some said turmeric, some said ganja, some said elderberry, some elderflower, some said cinnamon, some palm sugar, some said mullein, some said cucumber, some said onions when you are slumber. All of these I've used also, but there was one I really didn't know. Thanks to Elements of Alchemy, you're the winner now, and the remedy is Umkalawabo, UMCKALOABO. Say it with me now. Umkalawabo, UMCKALOABO. Say it with me now. Umkalawabo. South Africa is where it grow. Zulu people, they have the know-how, sore throat, bronchitis, colds also. You never know? Well, you know now. South African geranium. I must start obtaining some. They say as the cold start come, not too long and the cold I got done. Another plant-based medicine can help your immune function, help with all of the core symptoms. Helpful for your lung, used for respiratory diseases. It's got many beneficial properties. Can also be used on your skin. What? A serious thing. UMCKALOABO. Say it with me now. Umkaloabo. A medical Monday. Yes, I am.
Yes, that was Maccabee on a Monday, breaking it down for us. Let me move my screen so I can be a little bit more effective for you in the way that I am presenting this. There we go. All right, yeah, we back. Real HD Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get yourself a helping of this vital information and must-see talk TV that's Black first and melanated family called The Real HD Show, the higher discussion. Why is it the higher discussion? Because we take the problems of the day, we take the units of the day, the bad news of the day, the good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between, and we make them seen, and we give you the unseen within all of it as well. We have a deeper conversation about what any of it has to do with us as a melanated people across the world, with a focus on our peoples in the U.S. So we're prime time with a purpose, you know what I mean? We go below the epidermis. Don't get nervous. Just join us, man. Because we are here for this tonight. Fake War of the Worlds attack. They are here. ESG. Of course, Jamie Foxx, part 2. And the wildfire presentation, or the wildfire dilemma, like the way I did that, part 2, as they say. And we just bust y'all down with a bunch of interesting things. The first 2 were our sponsors to the show, and 2 very good sponsors. One is Total Package Energy, all Black company. I know the owner. We've had conversations. He puts out a really good all natural product. And but by what I mean by all natural, I mean no additives, no preservatives, no things that are going to make you stir crazy, no caffeine. Of course, it's manufactured, but of course, he wants to help his people through that product. So please go patronize Total Package Energy. And then also, you're going to want to go and bring 5 people to the Real HD Show with you and get a free vacation from Redeem Vacations. 3 night, 4-day vacation in the US. So we talking Vegas, we talking Florida, we talking Grand Canyon, we talking Miami, we talking real good destinations, even some places in the Caribbean. So again, bring your people to the Real HD Show and get all of those things, accumulated to yourself as a reward or a prize for that. And also, shout out to Hip Hop Cartoons on YouTube. Shout out to that. Go patronize Hip Hop Cartoons. It's a way of combining anime and the wise words of our elders and ancestors. That's why we always do Ancestors Blueprint at the beginning of the show, because I really want that brother to get his joint super duper animated and super duper supported So please go support Hip Hop Cartoons on YouTube and go see all our wise scholars animated, giving us life lessons that we can learn every day in every way. All right, moving on. Last but not least, go on YouTube and support and patronize Maccabee's channel. He has all kind of health information that we can use right now. You know, of course, during this time of, you know, biome attacks and genome attacks, we need as much support and, you know, vital biological reinforcement as we can get. That brother helps you to take care of your vital needs, your biology needs, and your medical needs. So go check out and support his channel. Give him a subscribe, give him a like, and write in the comments that you heard about it on the Real HD show. That's my bro. He's a dope cat doing a lot of great things. So we got a full show for you tonight. A lot of great, pivotal, important information to deliver. And without further ado, we're going to jump right in. Now, I invited a gang of people, so I hope a gang of people show up. Even if they don't, we're going to run this thing because it's a Monday. It's a Madness Monday. We're going to run this thing. Who got next? We do. Power to the people knows. Wait, what just happened? This just happened. Oh, I didn't put it up. All right, family, give me one moment to pull up what I intended to show you. I'm just going to grab it and pop it in here. Yeah, I thought I put it in there. My bag, family. Power to the people news. That's what's going on right now. And wait, what just happened? This just happened. Cornel West is running for president. Yeah, it's that time. All of the new nominees. By the way, this is the link to the show. Sorry to stop the news cycle, but if you guys want to join backstage, or you could just pop it in the chat. Either way, we are on 5 Facebook channels. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch TV. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram, as they like to say. And we are on Mob Crush D Live Trouble Nation. Shout out to all of y'all holding us down. Y'all always do. Y'all always come through with the gang going on. Gang all over Mob Crush. 3,000 deep. Love y'all. Thanks for the support. I truly appreciate it. But what I'm gonna do with the link is I'm gonna put it in a ticker way down below. Okay. Yeah, put it in a ticker, and there we go. So you guys can see it. Link up. Come on backstage with us. So Cornel West running for president. Why is this important? Quote, I decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party, said Brother Cornel West. Scholar and activist Cornel West announced Monday he's running as a presidential candidate for the People's Party. Quote, I've decided to run for truth, which take the form of running for president of the U.S. as a candidate for the People's Party. Quote, I entered this for the truth. I entered for justice. Said that already. And the presidency is just one vehicle we pursue that truth and justice. West is known for his academic activism. He's a professor at Harvard and Princeton. According to his video, West, who is 70, claims that he cares more about voters and their quality of life than other political parties. Neither political party wants to tell the truth about Wall Street, about Ukraine, about the Pentagon, about big tech. West says, do we have what it takes? We shall see. I think that's very interesting before we move on reading the rest of it, because he is throwing a gauntlet to the people. Do we care about these things? Do we care about Wall Street, Ukraine, the Pentagon, and big tech, and the effect that they have on our living as we speak? So far so good. I like what the brother is saying. West first left the Harvard position amid a series of disputes with the university president of Harvard, joining Princeton. West left in 2021. He left Harvard post over a tenure dispute, accusing the school of intellectual and spiritual bankruptcy of deep depths. And he's not wrong about that. He is currently the Dietrich Chair at a seminary school, Union Theological Seminary School. And that is that on that level. Put it in the chat, man. Are you guys excited about Brother Cornel West? He wrote the book Black Robes, White Justice. And that was pivotal because that really dug deep into and showing some of the really savage inequalities that the justice system and the penal system was committing on our folks. And he also was involved in another pivotal book that was a bestseller. Him and Brother Tavis Smiley, they both combined to create this book here, The Covenant with Black America. And that was right on the 2008 heels of Barack Obama beginning his presidency. And that book was very interesting. It had a lot of very, very focused and Black first advocacy that should be put on a presidential and congressional stage to be voted on, so that the people could determine what's really popping in society and Black folk in the country and in the diaspora can get the help and get the justice and the entitlement that they need, reparations, right? So those two were very, very involved with that. But like everyone running for office, there always seems to be a little bit of a little twinge, a little tinge of selfishness, a little tinge of ineptitude, a little tinge of perhaps they're a little bit corrupt. And so you have to be careful when someone's running for office, especially office that have a soft seat like the president, because of course, if you're decent, you'll get elected for another 4 years. And if you're in Congress and you're in the same, and you operate in the same regalia or the same fashion, you will get a congressional soft seat and return to your post, and then not have to do what you claim for the people in reparative work or progressive work. So they wrote the book, Tavis Smiley, and guided by Cornel West. I think Cornel West has a section, either the forward or the prologue or something like that, where he contributes many, many key themes and mantras for what was supposed to be a advocacy book of political, almost like a CRT, if you will, for what Black people needed in America. And then, of course, if you fast forward to now, you got Ice Cube and his plan for Black America, kind of hitting on the same things. So, of course, if Brother Cornel West is running for president, right, we got to ask ourselves, how did the covenant with Black America work out? So even though Barack Obama did not acknowledge much of or at all anything with the covenant with Black America and what the book extolled, was there something in their plan that was active and touched the lives of many and or made some reparative progression, or forward progression for that matter, for Black folks? So I'm gonna share a little clip with you guys about this, and we're gonna see if there were any gains with the progress with the covenant for Black America. It's about a 2-minute clip. Rock with me. Real HD Show.
I'm the daughter of a single mother. I have 2 siblings, so she's a single mom of 3 kids, who really worked 2 or 3 jobs, you know, and still had to be on public assistance just to make ends meet. And I think that's an experience that a lot of people from coast to coast can relate to nowadays. And, you know, so for me, my ticket really was trying to figure out, how do I get a ticket out of poverty, you know? And I guess common knowledge is you get an education.
Gloria Walton attended UCLA intending to be a lawyer. A professor there suggested she apply for a summer internship at Scope, an experience that would change her life.
13 years ago, I started here as a community organizer intern. And shortly thereafter, I attended my first house meeting. And what made the house meeting so powerful is that they were talking about power. They were talking about change and ways that they can get involved in their community and doing delegations to talk to their decision makers. So I think I really learned one of the, probably, I could argue, most important lessons of community organizing, which is that decisions are being made every single day on my behalf without me. And either I can be at the center of change alongside Scope grassroots leaders, or be on the side and complaining and, you know, reaping the consequences.
For Gloria Walton, the political and the personal have always gone hand in hand.
Today is just the beginning, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. If I grew up without a plethora of resources before me, I figured out how to be creative to make something out of nothing. And I am the first person in my entire family to go to college. And my grandmother had 10 kids, and no one had the opportunity to go to college. In retrospect, I feel that being Black in America is intrinsically a political experience.
All right. So I gather from that clip, we're talking about the New York bestseller book, Covenant with Black America, on heels of Brother Cornel West running for president. And this sister that we just had in the video described, I guess, what her life turned was, you know, how her life matriculated into a positive way because of reading this book and because of extolling its virtues and putting its virtues into practice. Her life became the better for it. So questions, I always got questions, you know, because we don't have all the answers, but we certainly got questions. Now this brother always seems to be, he seems to have a really honest nature about him. Very intelligent. I would almost say super intelligent. Very gentle spirit. But is not afraid to use his, you know, academic powers to help out, first, our people, secondly, humanity. But like most people that run for office, will he be corrupted? So put it in the chat. Do you think Cornel West, with his level of discipline, with his level of academic tact, and I've never heard him involved in any scandals. I mean, anyone in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong. I've never heard him involved in any sexual scandals, money-based scandals, drug-related scandals, society, cultural-based scandals. He seems like a brother on the up and up. But will his presidency run be corrupted? I'm sure he's going to run on a Democratic platform. He's running for the People's Party, but that is very much allied to Democratic leanings. Will his run be corrupted? Also, will he make it to a Democratic nominated stage? For those who don't know, you have to raise quite a bit of money in quite a short time, millions of dollars, in fact, in a very short time, to be considered through the DNC or the Green Party or the Republican Party to run for president, because they have to know that you have the ability to raise money. So will Cornel West be able to raise the money that it takes to run for president? Now, this brother has a long academic track. He probably knows a gang of people across the country in the academic sectors, especially the Ivies. He could get into their good graces, and they could benefact him in his presidential run. Or he could take it to the streets and get with the people. He's done that before a gazillion times as well. That's the reason why the brother comes off with so much honesty, so much integrity, and he always seems like he is down for the brown, the black, the melanated folk of this country. What say you guys? Put it in the chat. What do you guys say about Cornel West running for president? Will he get his support in the same method that Barack got his support? Barack Obama. Barack Obama was very, boots on the ground, shoes on the ground, door to door. He had an army of people. He was very down to earth and celebrated the ethic of the door knocking candidate. And he also used the internet to help him with his momentum towards running for office, and came across to a lot of people like he was going to help the people, like he was down for the people. And I think a lot of people bought Barack being that way, and still to this day believe that he's that way, simply because he had that Chicago feel to him. He had that Chicago slick on him. Not saying that he was slick. I think he administered the office with credibility. Some other people could tell you different. Some other people might say different. But there's a lot more that he could have done for his people, black people, melanated people, and with the power and the podium and the platform that he had as president. But there's another question: will Cornel West use that in that very same strategy that Barack did to run for president? And speaking of Barack, let's get right to it. Power to the people news. Wait, what just happened? This just happened. Barry. Whew. Why do I say Barry? This is why I say Barry. There's some things out there right now, especially a book about your man Barry Obama, Barack, and not so flattering. Some people can say it's trolling, but here it is. Is Obama a homosexual? Now, we have to take this with a grain of salt. You got to take this with a grain of, trepidation, because Lauren Witschke is a GOP nominee for U.S. Senate. So, you rocking with that grand old party. You'll say just about and do just about anything to get yourself inward with the status quo. But she put this on Twitter. I thought it was interesting. And then I looked it up. And it's true. Not true it's true that there's a book out about this. Larry Sinclair claims to have done drugs and had sex with Barack Obama when he was a state senator in 1999. He wrote a book about 2 encounters. He sued for defamation, but the judge tossed the case, which means the judge did not think Sinclair was lying. Now, this is what Lauren Witschke tweeted about the book. And I'm just going to read an excerpt from the book, and then we got questions. The biggest untold story of the 2008 presidential election, finally no holds barred, 100% true story, allegedly, of Barack Obama's use and scale of cocaine, his homosexual affairs, and in December of 2007, murder of Barack Obama's former lover and choir director of Barack's Chicago Church of 20 Years, Donald Young. Just days before the 2008 Iowa caucus. Now, everybody knows anything about elections, Iowa caucus is important. It's one of the swing states that you have to win if you intend on running for Congress or presidential campaign. This searing candidate story with Barack met Larry Sinclair in November of 99 and subsequently procuring, selling cocaine, and then engaging in consensual homosexual sex with Sinclair on November 6th and then on November 7th of 99. You read in riveting detail how Sinclair in 2007 repeatedly contacted and requested that the Barack campaign come clean about the candidate's 99 drug use and sales. So Barack sold drugs, according to this guy, and he had some homosexual acts, allegedly. You'll learn how Obama campaign used David Axelrod and Barack Obama used David Young, the homosexual lover of Barack Obama, to contact and seek out information from Sinclair about who he had told Obama's crimes and actions. You read how the Obama campaign used internet porn king Dan Parisi and PhD fraud of Edward Gleb to conduct a rigged polygraph exam in an attempt to make Sinclair's story go away. So now they're claiming that Barack also rigged the polygraph, faked the polygraph. Obama team and controlled media, specifically MSNBC, Chris Matthews, Oberman, New York Times, CNN, Politico, Daily Chaos, Huffington Post, attacked the National Press Club for making its facilities available for Sinclair, the news conference, to present his evidence and allegations to the world media. You'll read how Vice President Joe Biden's son, Delaware Attorney General Beau Biden, issued an arrest warrant on completely false fabricated charges in an attempt to discredit Sinclair's National Press Club news conference. This is a staggeringly true story of how allegedly the U.S. president, with help of the mainstream media, Chicago police, FBI, Attorney General, and others, got away with murder. So there we are. They said Barry was busy doing some dastardly things, doing some things that, weren't on the up and up, that were not very becoming of a U.S. president or potential U.S. president. My take on the Barack piece is just this. So we'll put it back up again. It's Larry Sinclair cat. And the book is real. Cocaine, sex lies, murder, and Barack Obama. That's a real thing. So they try to paint the picture that Barack, Barack came off like this kind of saintly politician, family man, etc. But this cat, Larry Sinclair, who has claimed to have sex with Barack, along with others, is somehow mixed up in drugs, drug selling, murder, homosexuality, and that would put him in the rungs of the Clintons of the world, the Trumps of the world, and not make them anymore, not make him revered anymore, and discredit a lot of what he was about as a politician and the image that Barack put out as a politician. So questions. Is this, do you lend any credibility to this? So my peoples that are watching right now, we got 3 on, we got 300 and not 300, we got 1,500 and Mob Crush. We got 3 on right here. I'm not sure how many are popping on YouTube. Do you think Barack is capable of what this guy is claiming? Especially when the guy wrote a whole book about it. The guy wrote a book about the young man of Barack's church that was murdered. The young man wrote a book about all of the things that he is alleging that Barack did. And of course, the FBI, Delaware state attorney, you know, it was a RICO of sorts to cover up and to negate what was popping with, and whether or not any of that was true, you know. So whenever, you know, when there's smoke, there's fire, and when there's a lot of people involved in what is claiming to be a cover-up, there may be something baked in the cake that way. I'm not sure. Put it in the chat where you at. Let me know where you stand. Do you think Barack is the upstanding dude that held the presidential office for 2 full terms? Or do you think this guy Sinclair and what he alleges is true? Which is why I brought it back to Brother Cornel West. Is it possible for a brother like this, who has this very noble presence about him, people first presence about him, to stay noble and people first? Is that possible? And can he resonate the extols of the covenant with Black America? All of the things that were in the covenant with Black America that had so much honesty, so much depth, so much necessity for our people. Can he bring that to light during the run of his presidency? And will he extol all of the things that he talked about? Is he going to lay it all the way down about big tech? Is he going to lay it all the way down about big pharma? Is he going to lay it all the way down about the Pentagon? Is he going to break it all the way down about big government? Put it in the chat. Or are we watching a rerun of Barack Obama all over again? That's another question we got. Is this a rerun? Have we seen this movie before? Does it get better, or does it just get worse? Or is the virus that is the United States of American political machine, is it seeping its tentacles into this brother here? Or can he use his savvy, his years of political connections, academic connections, financing connections, to make an honest run of things? Would you vote for him? Do you think this brother can get it done? And I like what he said before. He said it's not just him that's going to get it done. We have to get it done. Meaning that work with the people, for the people, has to get it done. Yeah, man. So I like those 2 stories. And not that I like it in terms of, it's good pieces of information to sink your teeth into, to really get into, do your homework on, and find out who you're supporting before you support them. Because I'm sure if the people knew that Barry was running around doing all the things that he's alleged of, I'm sure that election in 2008 that was so famous would have went differently, really differently. So put it in the chat. If this news had come out by the way it came out, in a Fast and Furious style, like this brother here, this not brother, but this white person here is proclaiming, do you think that this would have impacted your vote for Barack Obama in the 2008 election? What say you? Put it in the chat. Jump in. The number's at the bottom of your screen. We want to see you in here getting it done. Okay, now update. Jamie Foxx. So Jamie Foxx was hospitalized as of recent, and it had a little bit of mystery and secrecy to it. And there's a couple of people that kind of got into his inner circle and found out some information. We're not sure if the information is true or not, but they found out about Jamie Foxx is Jamie was doing a movie. And as he was doing the movie, he was told by the people that were doing the movie, I think the movie was with Cameron Diaz. And the movie with Cameron Diaz, everybody on set needed to be vaccinated, and Jamie Foxx went and got vaccinated. And then after getting vaccinated, he, like the title of the article reads, he was partially paralyzed and blind after experiencing a blood clot in his brain from vaccine complications. Now, like the title of the last show, Brother Jamie took the jabby jab, right? And if you don't know, go on a site called VAERS, and VAERS will show you how many people have had casualties, medical emergencies due to COVID vaccine. And it's almost like a ticker that they kind of run. I'm trying to pull it up now. If I can't, forgive me. You guys can go and search this out for yourself. They report adverse events, meaning medical emergencies that people have due to taking the jabby jab. And almost everyone who has taken it has reported some sort of ailment after taking it, and they, recommend that you be off your feet and what have you. I'm trying to find this. Let me go on Stu Peters. Let's see if Stu Peters has his meter up, because sometimes on his show he has a meter up that shows the VAERS ticker. And the VAERS ticker let me just cut the sound off of that. Open that up. Okay. Okay, so he has what's called, if you go to stupeters.com, he has something called #died suddenly. And that, I believe, is part of, let me do that now, so we can really give numbers. Now, I don't necessarily hide anything, and I find information everywhere. And we know that Stu Peters has a conservative Republican leaning, but that doesn't really bother me, only because I do my homework and I try to find as much as I can in terms of information, and I tend to do my homework in terms of whether the information is viable before I bring it to you. But go to stupeters.com, check out hashtag died suddenly, or you can go to the VAERS website, and the VAERS website will give you the adverse medical effects. But there's also a Pfizer document, and there's over 35 pages of over 150,000 adverse effects that have happened due to the jabby jab or the drip drip or whatever nickname you want to get this thing. It's crazy. It's crazy. And now, just like no one wanted to expose AIDS until Ronald Reagan's son got it, and then once Ronald Reagan's son came down with it, now it became a national, something that you should pay attention. It became a national priority. Jamie Foxx, for a movie, took the jabby jab, thinking he was healthy enough to withstand it, suffered a blood clot and paralyzation, and that was the effect of taking the jab with the adverse medical conditions that a lot of people all over the world have complained about. I believe it's about 3,000 and counting who have actually passed, and many, many more than that who have had adverse medical effects from it. It's not just me. Go check this out. And if you're a super duper researcher like me and you want to dig your teeth into something that's interesting about this, I'm gonna show you something. It's a movie on Stu Peters' website. It's called Watch the Water. Now, this is in a second part of the series that I'm basically talking to you about. Second part of Watch the Water is available. And in Watch the Water, in the first part, what him and another medical professional talked about, let me share my screen so you can see what Watch the Water as a biodoc looks like. Not a biodoc, just a doc. You can see this is Watch the Water. So you can go on Stu Peters. It looks like this. Looks like the Sports Center logo. You can go to stupeters.com and look at Watch the Water. Watch the entire thing. I think it's about 50 minutes or to an hour and a half. Check that out. But what was profound about Watch the Water, I'm going to not share my screen anymore about it. What's profound about Watch the Water is in that particular doc, they discovered, through scientists and water specialists, discovered that in the wastewater within major cities, they saw a Tex toxin or a reptile toxin, snake toxin in the wastewater of many, many people through these major cities. So, of course, you know the wastewater, people go to the bathroom, they urinate, they defecate, and then the wastewater is examined. And you also know that when people die and they go to a coroner, the coroner examines the feces and the urine of the person who died, and that helps give them more opportunity to understand what that person died from. What are the contaminants in their urine or in their feces that may show up in their body and be cause of death, or maybe not, but at least it's there. At least they know it. So Something in the Water, that documentary, not by Stu Peters, it was by someone else, but Stu Peters, he advocates for it. So go check that out. Watch the Water, part 1 and part 2. The first part was about all of the leading experts all over were trying to deny this because the medical professional that was speaking about it was of the chiropractic discipline. He wasn't a medical doctor in the traditional sense. That doesn't mean he doesn't know how to do research. It doesn't mean he doesn't know how to put two and two together medically and with some sort of academic acumen to come up with plausible theories and plausible logistic ways that would be very poignant and very subject about COVID-19, the 19, right? As we like to say it on the show, the 19. So we try to avoid a lot of, being doxxed and being, shadow banned. So we try to give these things code names because we got FBI and CIA all over these social media streets, waiting to hear codes and waiting to hear words that they can, silence. They want to silence your freedom of speech. But anyway, so back to Watch the Water. So it's Watch the Water. And in this, let me share it again so you guys can see it. So Watch the Water part 1 was about the grand exposing that there was Tex toxin, snake and reptile toxin in the waste of these waters in these major cities all over the country. Now, why would that be? I would be really interested to find out. Then the medical professional who put it out did some more digging and found out that a lot of the 19 showed signs of snake venom built within the contents of the affliction itself. Snake venom. So Watch the Water part 2 was something very similar, but it went a little bit deeper. Now that sounds really crazy. If you think about the medical profession and you put your trust in the medical profession and you think the medical profession and the pharmaceutical profession is on the up and up and would never do things like that. But the same author of Watch the Water, who's being interviewed by Stu Peters, also talks about how there were cancer treatments and different other types of medicines that were popularly dispersed amongst people as way back as 1990. Some medicines for arthritis, some cancer treatments, some medicines for HIV and the like, all showed up with conotoxin and Tex toxin and reptile toxins laced within it. And the reason why that's so interesting is because one of the major symptoms that most seem to be coming down with adverse medical effects from the 19 and from the 19 vaccine was Bear's palsy, some sort of paralyzation, right? So why are all these people, thousands of people all over the world, tens of thousands probably at this point, coming down with forms of Bear's palsy? I'm going to close this and jump back into my smaller screen and continue to bring it up. But I want to ask that of you. We heard it all. We also heard that it's myocardosis that a lot of people come down with, myocarditis, excuse me, that a lot of people come down with after taking the jab or the drip, if you will call it, right? And now you see Jamie Foxx go through the same paralyzation issue, even this year of taking the vaccination. Put it in the chat, man. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Jamie was a victim of the bad or the corruptibility that exists within the drip drip or the jab jab or whatever you want to call it, right? Was Jamie Foxx a victim of that? Give me a second, family. I'm just trying to pull up this ticker that shows the adverse effects. Let me see if I can get one. Okay, because I know what I'm looking for and I see it, and I don't see it. They may have scrubbed the internet of it. It used to be a ticker on a live screen, and it would keep a registered log based on how many people reported. Let's see if this is it here. Let's see if we can just get some data on the whole thing. Okay. The site is not going to give it to us. Okay. So I'll tell you what, family, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on that. But I really do think that Brother Fox was, I hope he's recovering. I hope he's surrounded by loving family and health. And he's getting better. He's getting back on his feet. And those things that are afflicting him are getting better and better day by day. But these things, they change people, man. They rob you of your energy, your vitality. They rob you of your mental faculties. It's that sort of energy, that sort of gravitas you had to do what made you special. Martin Lawrence had that issue when he had his stroke after, trying to cross the highway and in the sun, working out, doing things he did. And then, of course, he stroked out, overworking out. And those things had a tremendous effect on Martin's activity as a comedian. Because, back then, Martin was doing everything. Martin had a gang of movies under him. He was doing Def Comedy Jam. He was doing everything under the sun. Movies. He had the Martin TV show. He was on fire. Funny as hell. Doing it. One of a kind comic that went off the dome with a lot of stuff. Just naturally gifted and funny, just like Brother Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx probably should have got an EGOT at this point for his work and the way that he moves. And I really believe that if you guys look at something in the water, why are people who have gotten the vax or been afflicted with the 19 wind up with reptile, snail, which is conotoxin, tex toxin, snake toxin in their urine and their feces analysis once they are examined by coroners? And of course, these things have been, people have been paid off to keep these things hush hush. But you guys watch it. Go watch Something in the Water, part 1 and 2. Come back to the Real HD show. Let's have a conversation about it. We are at the top of the hour, so we are going to get ready to go. And we will do part 2 of War of the Worlds, Fake War of the Worlds, the attack. Because we want to give this as much time as possible. And it's my show anyway. So if I want to make it a part 2, I'll make it a part 2. And the only reason that I found this interesting was because there was a UFO presser today by someone who at one point was shunned by the government, and now two people have come out disclosing things about UFO activity because of the Whistleblowers Act. So you got Dr. Stephen Greer, who is disclosing information about UFOs, and then you have a whistleblower also by the name of, I believe his name was Grush. Let me look it up. He was a former Pentagon specialist and military man. I just want to get his name right, so I give you his name, and then you guys can go look it up. David Grush. You guys can look him up and look up David Grush and what he has to say about recently about the UFO phenomenons going on. And Dr. Stephen Greer has done this for decades and has tons of information. And we really need to have a good conversation, because nobody really asks Black people, what does all of this have to do with us? What do aliens and UFOs, and do we even have a voice about it? You always hear the macro or the larger community have a voice in these things. And we need that same thing. And that UFO presser, unidentified flying objects, of course, that presser and David Grush and his whistleblow came after the executive office put forth an administrative policy for the Whistleblower Protection Improvement Act of 2021, because those people were getting deaded and beheaded. Yeah, I said it. So we'll deal with this next time on the Real HD Show on Monday, when we should have a full house or more people on, and we will dig deeper and further into the meaning behind the fake war, the world's attack, and why I believe it's pseudo. Join us there. Join us again on the Real HD Show for a riveting opportunity to dig into these subjects, because there's an end game. There's a larger scheme and vision for this, and we need to be prepared, people. So peace, walk with power, and we'll see you next time on the Real HD Show. Like, share, subscribe, join, and jump on the show live with us. This is your talk forum for exploring and progressing as a melanated people throughout the rest of the 21st century. So peace, we love you, love on each other, and we will see you Monday and Wednesday. Peace.